Lights out, everybody. It is later than you think.
Lights Out brings you stories of the supernatural and the supernormal, dramatizing the fantasies and the mysteries of the unknown. We tell you this frankly, so if you wish to avoid the excitement and tension of these imaginative plays, we urge you calmly, but sincerely, to turn off your radio now.
You asked interrogative questions out of my face. It's gone.
What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Come on.
That is not paid for by them. That is paid for by the people of Detroit.
You might be qualified, ML.
I'm not qualified for this job.
Let me tell you something. You want to go right now? Okay? You want to go right now, Alric?
Well, I do want to go, and we're going a little late, so we appreciate your patience. We've had quite the morning. We've all got sick kids in one form or another. Mark is on loan to do some childcare, and also he may be sneaking in a new version of the Charlotte and Dad podcast. So Brandon McAfee is taking over. This will be a flatulence-free Brandon. We don't pay the extra fee. I think that's like a surcharge, right? An add-on.
I'm on my best behavior for the show.
And you're facing the other wall, so if you have to, I guess it's okay.
All right.
Sean Windsor, of course, is here. He's taken a brief respite from watching Michigan lose, Michigan State lose, and Michigan State lose a coach.
And working for a decaying newspaper.
Oh, is it decaying?
According to our guest, yeah.
Did you leave it out on the porch?
Oh, it's decaying.
Did it get rained
Decaying
on?
where everybody's handcuffed and nobody does any work and everybody stays in
Sounds like
their cubicles. And
Where are you on the layoff list?
This sounds like a lover's lane ad. So I was, and of course we have Joey running Facebook Live. So Joe, thanks for being here. I was going to say this is the ML Elric Soul of Detroit, but this week I think it's going to be more like Siegfried and Roy. I'm just not sure who's the lion and who's going to be tamed. But I already see that these guys are I see Siegfried and Roy are chewing on each other. Which
I just showed up, but
which I think they usually do.
I'll go with you.
They usually do off stage.
You
But
kidding me?
But Charlie's here.
Did you say
that paper's doing well.
Got to be doing what?
I said I'll go toe to toe with you. Invite me to come, but you want to go like that? I'll go like that.
Well, if you want to deal in facts, more people read the paper than they ever have. Now, you want to talk about advertising dollars, et cetera, number of reporters. Yeah, we don't need to get off on this all right now. The eyeballs are there. It's just, a transition in the business.
Online? Of course,
You're right. We're not a paper online. That's true. Good point.
No, and it's half of the readership's not even in this state. It's the sports page is why people read it.
Well, yeah, and local news. You're right.
It's the sports.
A lot of there are Wings fans in Arizona reading this. Exactly. There's no question.
All the expats. That's what's keep it alive, but it doesn't do good for advertising.
No, it doesn't.
Teresa has some good numbers on some of her stories about some of the crazy stuff that happens in criminal justice. I mean, people still. It's like It's like the old. Remember the old Police Gazette way back when people would read newspapers that were just full of crime. I think crime still gets eyeballs on TV and on websites and justice issues and stuff like that. So we're gonna get to the hot part of the show. Maybe we'll get back to it in just a second. But I wanted to just talk a little bit about Charlie's most recent episode of the No BS News Hour, where we had Chief Craig on there, and Chief Craig making some news. You're talking about that on Deadline Detroit.
Yeah, he's making some news. He wants more police. He wants more money. He wants more equipment.
So he sounds like every police chief ever. Is there any chance he's got a plan to get it?
Yeah, no, none. There's no money.
So he sounds like every police chief ever. But
if we do the work and we look at the budget, and we look at expenditures, and we look at revenue, we're not going in the right direction. And every investor will show you that. And so the difference between here in New York and L.A. is we went bankrupt to supply that stuff to these people, and we haven't. The police make less now than they did in 2012.
And the retired police make less now for sure.
And they have
because
no
they all got a haircut.
And shootings are up, violence is up, murder is up. What are we doing here? So, it was fair for him to come out because I've been toasting his ass for, I'm trying to tell the truth.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And so make sure you not only check out Charlie's latest episode, but you check out Deadline Detroit. Now, I have an issue with one of Charlie's more recent.
Wait. Can we just set the stage here? Tell the folks why Charlie's here, what we're doing, and that sort of thing.
Tell me too.
Because our little
Charlie's
fun with the Free Press a minute ago was completely out of context.
No, Charlie's
really good, Sean. That's good radio.
Charlie's clickbait. We're all using Charlie for clickbait. No, the reason why Charlie's on, we've been meaning to have Charlie on for a long time.
Because we love Charlie.
Yeah, I'm glad. I am glad.
We wanted somebody who was thin enough in here to stand up.
This is overdue. This is
not fuck his knees up.
This is like the Fox 2X Patriots hour, and we should probably talk about what it's like to live without the yoke around your neck. But first and foremost, the reason why I want to have Charlie on is because Charlie had an episode. If you missed it, Peter Karmanos was on. It was a big. Well, we all want people to listen. Nobody wants their stuff not to be read. Nobody wants their stuff not to be heard. We do this not only because we believe in the work, but because we want to reach people, and we can't make change without getting people's attention. And we talked about this when Charlie and I were on a panel at the Mike Wallace documentary last year in the Free Press Film Festival. About people were saying, like, well, why is the news so sensational? Like, because you guys won't watch if we don't make it interesting. That doesn't mean we have to make things up. It doesn't mean we have to put our finger on the scale. But we all want people to know about our work because we all believe in it, because we could all make more money doing something else.
Were they saying like, what do they mean sensational? Doing like,
well, to me, sensational means great job. Not like, that it's tabloidy. But I think
you mean like gay means happy? Is that what you're saying?
Well, then there's tabloid news, right?
Right.
And there's over stating something. And then there's the sensation of like how you conduct yourself on TV.
Yeah. Like, there's also you say
like, why are you in a trench coat? Why are you in your underpants? Whatever. Well,
you won't believe what you're about to see, and then we see it, and it's like, it's not. I do believe that. That's sort of sensationalism when you make it out to be more than it really is.
That's just lame. But I always thought and believe it. It's a little box. You have to be big in the box, otherwise you don't watch it. I'll just go there. Yeah. Look at it now. Turn on your TV. Look at it's blasting down here. CNN. It's awful. And nobody's watching it. Local news. It's drab. It's redundant. It's not produced well. I got a lot of shit to do in life. You have to change. I didn't make the rules. I didn't kill the newspapers. I love the newspapers. I worked at the Detroit News, the little brother of the I love it.
And found a corpse in the train station, right?
Yeah, and got hammered for that. By the Free Press. So what did I do?
Back to Charlie's
this
show.
goes way back.
Oh, that's ever since I walked into town.
Okay. Charlie's show, he had Peter Karmanos on, and Peter Karmanos talked about why he thinks Kwame Kilpatrick should be released. Now,
may I preface your preface? He came in. I didn't.
You got to follow that.
We have to ask Pete Karmanos about Kwame Kilpatrick, but Pete Karmanos builds. He's a billionaire. He's a leader of the community. I wanted to ask him about the skyscrapers and where we're going and, all that boring stuff. Second half of the show, we talk about Kilpatrick.
Right.
Just so that's clear. Like, I'm not resurrecting the Kilpatrick story. That's coming gone.
Understood. But that's what caught people's eyeballs. And that's what brings us together today, because in the wake of that, the Free Press and News, everybody else chased that. Charlie wrote about it for Deadline Detroit, and all good stuff, all fair stuff. But I took issue with something at the end of Charlie's piece in Deadline Detroit, where he questioned the motives of the Free Press in the publication of the text messages, and that's something that obviously that's a subject I know intimately, and quite frankly, I took offense because it felt to me like you were making some insinuations and talking about some motivations which were not accurate, but also I kind of felt like, we're pals. It would have been nice to get a heads up, like, well, what were you guys really doing? And so Charlie and I exchanged some messages, and we're gonna have that discussion right now. And Charlie,
read what I wrote.
I want to tell you that wherever this conversation ends, one of the things I really like about you, other than the fact that there's always plenty to do when we go out, is that you came in here, because a lot of people are not available or my schedule's all jammed up. We've played with the schedule to make this work, and you've never used the excuse of, well, if you can't do it at 4 a.m. on the corner of Fort and Shelby, then we can't do it, and I got to have only green M&Ms. So wherever we end up on this, people standing up and facing each other and having discussions as adults, boy, wouldn't that be nice in this country?
Yeah.
Maybe we could get people to think about that. So Charlie talked about Karmanos' appearance.
Were you standing, by the way, when you were talking to Karmanos?
Yeah.
You were lording over him?
I just stand because I'm just
I mean, because I like that you're lording over us.
Smoke and drink coffee,
I know,
and I
know.
buzz.
It's your energy. Yeah. I got it.
So
I'm just trying to paint the picture here.
So Charlie, and
plus,
if
you know what? By the way, when you see these cameras, there's nothing worse. Like Don Imus. Don Imus is, he's also being
the cowboy hat.
Yeah, it's on MSNBC Live. And it's just an old dude sitting in a chair. Like, this is the most boring visual. A microphone and a guy sitting there. So when I first saw it, I'm like, we can move around.
But you have a chin line. See, for me, looking down is not bad. If it's eye level or looking up, you see my fucking turkey neck.
Well, I want to accommodate our guest. He wanted me to read this. So other than some shots at Brian Dickerson, who takes another dunking on the latest edition of the No BS News Hour, he takes an earful there. Charlie writes that, if Dickerson truly wants a piece of the Kwame story, he might then consider pursuing his own line of reporting. It would not take long or much effort. He'd just have to stand up and walk across his own newsroom. He might clarify for us how the Free Press sat on Kilpatrick's text messages until after an $8 million settlement was reached between Kilpatrick and the whistleblowers Gary Brown and Harold Nelthrop. The paper was given the text by the whistleblower's lawyer, quote, for safekeeping, end quote, and was still in possession of them when a confidentiality agreement was signed between the parties as a condition for the money to be released. The Free Press published the story only after the money was transferred. Was the city allowed to be swindled for the sake of a good, albeit important, story? Did the Free Press know a confidentiality agreement was in the works? Did they make a deal? Do they care? And I'll tell you, I'll start with the end. Did they make a deal? Hell no. Do they care? Hell yes.
Yeah.
This is not true, what you wrote. It's not accurate. If you're asserting it as fact, I think a correction or at least an apology is due. And I also should tell people, I want to be really upfront about this. You know, I'm underemployed right now. I am pursuing a job with the Detroit Free Press, but I'll also tell you this. I ain't never sung for my supper, and I never hit my knees for an employer, prospective or otherwise. And I left Fox 2 because they wanted me to bend. I was willing to bend. I said I'll bend over backwards, but I won't bend over forwards. And I'm never going to do that for anybody. So everything I'm talking about is factual. It's from the heart. It has to do with this issue, and it doesn't have to do with any boss who might be listening, although we appreciate the download. So if you want to factor that into your take on where I'm coming from, feel free. You're entitled to know that. But if you think I would sell out for anybody for a check, then why the hell am I still not at Fox? I just throw that out there. So, Charlie, I just talked a lot. I'd like to turn the floor over to you.
What's the question? I answer those questions.
Okay.
And put this in a little bit of context.
I just want to know, before you wrote this, as a professional reporter, as a Pulitzer Prize-winning reporter, as one of the best reporters that I know, I would have appreciated a call because I did these stories.
Let's do this first. Let's go like this.
That's basic courtesy. That's journalism.
Can you just say what you were responding to? Give the gist of Dickerson's column real quick, because again, we need some context here.
Dickerson,
Brian Dickerson, columnist or op-ed editor, I guess.
Writing a story 6 days later after the podcast, after everybody does. He wants his piece. Fine. He takes shots at Karmanos. He takes shots at me. Calls me a clown, right? We're Neanderthals because of the way we look at government and how they spend our money. And I was like, I'm okay.
He did call you whip smart. I mean,
that's nice.
There were some bon mots in there too.
I don't do that. Yeah. I've never done that. And a reporter writing a report about a reporter's report 6 days later is ridiculous, right? And I'm tired of being taken to the woodshed by this paper, like called controversial, or when me and my brother are the only two fucking guys that care about a dead guy in an elevator shaft, and the Free Press is going after it. And I don't know, but there were other reporters in that building skating around playing hockey, right? Is that true?
I believe I know one person who has done that.
So what the fuck?
But I'm not going to name him because I haven't called him first to give him a chance to respond. That's where I got a beef with you, my man.
Well, what's this? I didn't write to you. I wrote to him.
Right.
I wrote to him. But so you want to call me?
I'm going to let you finish.
Cool. I haven't heard from him.
I'm going to let you finish.
I haven't heard from him. I don't even know what your role was.
In the text message scandal?
According to the attorney,
you know what my role was in that. We're at the bar.
But look,
we're at the anchor when the mayor resigned.
But according to the the attorney
that was not my coming out party.
Discipline board, right? The text messages were given to Schaefer. I don't know what he and Mike Stefani, the lawyer for Gary Brown, talked about of the deal they made. Why doesn't Dickerson get up, go over there and ask? That's a fair question, and it's a question.
But
it's a question. Listen, if somebody at the Free Press wants to do a Kwame story, answer the one that's never been answered. Where'd you guys get them? What deal did you make?
We protect our sources, but this
he already outed himself.
But this, assuming that's the truth, that's a guy in trouble with the law. Who knows? But
why is he in trouble with the law?
Well, because he now I got to go in the Wayback Machine.
He got in trouble with the law because he signed an agreement with the city for $8 million, and it was
he sent a subpoena that he didn't have authorization to send. That's where Stefani got in some trouble.
Just everybody can Google it, but like the role that he played with the Free Press and turning him over and not telling the city that he did it is why he got disciplined. So it's a fair question. He's been taken to the woodshed. Except I'm not going crazy here, but Brian or Detroit Free Press. I mean, you cribbed enough of my stories.
Yeah, but here's
I'm just working.
Here's the issue.
There's an issue with that. So be it.
No, but you can have an issue with Dickerson.
And I didn't know. I wasn't intended to take you out at the knees. So I apologize if that's how it. No, I hate those apologies. I apologize. I did not mean to take you out at the knees. It wasn't my intention.
Oh, my knees are good. I can stand too. So these knees they're still good.
Let's hear this clearly, brother. I apologize. It was not my intention to take you out at the knees, but I'm pissed. And if he wants to continue with the behavior, then answer some real questions about your own fucking behavior. So again, I'm sorry, legitimate questions, and I'll totally listen to the answer.
So I appreciate that, but I don't feel like I personally need an apology because you called out. Okay, Brandon, edit that out. So my issue is, and I understand why you're not happy with Dickerson, but he wasn't writing about why the Free Press settled all this stuff. You kind of took him into a new topic, and you started casting aspersions about the Free Press. My problem with this
I asked the question.
Okay, but so let me give you some answers that I could have given you if you'd called me before this was published, and we could.
Had you written that about me? I would have.
And we can be talking about. Let me just ask you. Hold on, let me just get to this, and I'm gonna let you finish too. I'm stealing all of Kanye's best lines. This is important because it's not about me. People say shit about me all the time. You know, you've been in an arena. You know how many people say stuff about both of us that
you're holding the document.
They don't know nothing. But here's my problem is you've raised a question as to what the Free Press's motivation was in publishing the text message. You've raised a question or made an assertion that the Free Press was somehow complicit in a deal with the devil to cheat the city out of money. First of all, we did not know about all this stuff that was going on behind the scenes. We got the text messages. It took us a long time to make sure the text messages were real. And I say that in the wake of, it sounds old now, but remember how Dan Rather got killed when he did that memo on George W. Bush that they thought was authentic, and it turned out that it wasn't, and they got blown up. We believe we had the real McCoy from the minute that we got them, but we had to do our level best to authenticate them. We did things like comparing them to the mayor's private calendar. We did things like comparing to the mayor's public calendar. We did things like comparing them to the mayor's credit card records, which the Free Press spent a lot of money to get those records that the public was entitled to know. Right. And
nevertheless, you got the text messages from Mike Stefani.
That's your assertion.
Well, that's his testimony.
Well, that's his testimony.
Well, is that correct? Because
we have an agreement with our sources, and we can't reveal it. We're still bound by that. You have to respect it.
I don't think I can sit here and have you badger me about raising it, and you won't answer it. You said you want to. What am I correcting? You want a correction. What am I correcting?
Dude, you're saying that the Free Press was in a deal to get the plaintiffs some money. We sure as fuck were not.
No, I didn't say that. I said this. I said you were in possession of them, right? It was going around that they were in
possession of text messages we're trying to authenticate. Plus, we're trying to read them.
When were you made aware, and this is just a question because I didn't say it in there, when were you made aware that there was a deal with the city for non-disclosure?
For non-disclosure?
Like that Stefani and Brown would not reveal that these text messages existed. When did you become aware of it?
Now, this is the best of my recollection. But it was before publication. But it was certainly
before publication.
It was not before that deal was done. We didn't know about that.
No, I didn't say that. But I said, when did you know? So before the Free Press published them, and I would have published them, And they don't teach this shit in journalism school, dude, because it's real tough in real life doing real things. Respect for that. And I know the shit you went through. I'm just saying, you were aware before you published them that the guy that gave them to you, maybe.
Well, we had to sue the city to get the agreement. We were aware. You're always aware of things before you publish it because you go to a lawsuit.
You go like, whoa, hey, wait a minute. Now we're in some ethical fucking dark area here. He gave them to us, and then so you're saying now that you didn't know when they signed that deal that there was a deal going on about non-disclosure.
So let me go address.
Is that right?
Let me
100%?
address this specifically. The paper was given the text message by the whistleblower's lawyer for safekeeping, was still in possession of them when a confidentiality agreement was signed between the parties as a condition of the money to be released. Not true.
That's true.
That's not true.
Well, watch this.
The Free Press published the story.
Wait. You guys got, according to these documents, more or less, I don't have them from me, you got them on October 10th. They were in discussions after October 10th, and the first deal was hammered out on October 20th. That's according to the document put out by the Attorney Discipline Board. That's my source. That's from talking to Stefani and everything else. So that would be correct. I'm not saying, you got them from the city or you did a FOIA the next month, but you did have them and he asked for them back. Did you make a copy of them? Wait, you can't tell me because you can't out a source.
No, that's not it. You're saying that we were given the things for safekeeping.
That's what it said. I quoted. There's quotes around
that's
it.
Fine.
That's from the report.
And that
Stefani said that.
But your implication here is that we knew that this was for safekeeping.
I'm assuming because he gave them to you. I mean, maybe you can't tell me.
You're saying the Free Press published story only after the money was transferred.
That's true too.
That's true, right? Because it took us months to authenticate these things.
Okay.
But we did not know.
So you did have them.
We did not know that this was going on behind the scenes.
Sources
do not tell you everything that they're doing.
Nevertheless, so now we got the answer, which is all I asked for. But you did know before you published them that there was a confidentiality agreement. Did you go to him and say, hey, you got trouble with this?
Do we have trouble with what?
Your source, whoever gave him to you, if he was involved in the confidentiality agreement, do you say, hey, bro, we copied them. We're going to run them. We're aware that you signed a confidentiality agreement, which would put you in a bad place. Are you okay with it?
Well, I can't tell you what discussions we have with the source.
It's difficult to have the discussion.
No, but
when I come up with a very legitimate question,
here's the
and
questions,
I can't get the answer.
Here's the questions you raised. Here's the questions you raised that I think are irresponsible and offend me. Was the city allowed to be swindled for the sake of a good, albeit important story? No.
Okay, there's the answer.
Did the Free Press make a deal? No.
You didn't make a deal.
Does the Free Press care? Yes.
Okay, but let's go back to number 2. I believe number 3, absolutely. Number 1, I got the answer.
So number 3 is, do they care? Okay, so we'll take that.
Okay. Number 1 is, again,
did the Free Press allow the city to be swindled? No. So hell no.
Because you just answered, we weren't aware that they were going at that time. We weren't aware. Next question.
Did the Free Press know a confidentiality agreement was in the works?
So the answer to that one is yes. You said it. We knew there was a confidentiality agreement before we published the stories.
Well,
but boom.
No. But you said
the first one is.
Let's go with what you said. Let's say we get the text messages in October. Let's just assume that's true. We did not publish until January.
Right.
It took us months.
Right.
To authenticate these things.
Right. How did you find out there was a confidentiality agreement?
We filed a FOIA lawsuit.
How would you
against the city?
How would you know to file a FOIA about a confidentiality agreement that is confidential? How'd you find out about that?
We filed a lawsuit for records the city had, trying to find out what deals they had.
Trying to get the text messages, authentic, your own copy.
No, we're trying to get any documents between the city and the plaintiffs.
And how are you?
And these documents emerged from that.
But again, you had them, you read them, you copied them. The only thing that's been answered here is between when did they pay it out? December? You say
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
Before the payout, we didn't know. Thanks. You answered it. The second one, you did know there was a confidentiality agreement. But
after we won our lawsuit, but that was after we got the text message, and I believe it's after the money was paid.
Yeah, but you already knew.
The fact we know about it after it's done.
The text messages were in their possession.
I don't have no time machine, man. And here's the thing.
We got your brain.
Here's the thing. This is the conversation you and I should have had man to man, reporter to reporter, before you put this shit out there.
Well, is your name
now
in
we
it?
got to have this conversation out. Yeah, but you know who did this.
Why doesn't Brian write a story like I asked him to?
And you're using the work
So you
Jim
did
and
talk
I
to
did.
Brian.
And the work the Free Press did
I talked to him in the
kneecap
paper
Brian
like you talked
Dickerson.
to me.
I'm just saying, you got to beef with Dickerson, keep with Dickerson, but do not question the work the Free Press did at great expense.
That's what I do.
And we did a lot of work that saved this city a lot of money. And you know why we did it? Because we thought it was important, and we thought the city would be better off in the end.
I mean,
it is.
I continue to do it myself.
Well, let me ask you this: would you have written what you wrote if he had just written about the interview? Because you made news with Carmelis, right?
No. But I have asked the Free Press before those very questions and did not get the answer.
No, I'm not talking about the I'm just saying overall, would you still have written this if he hadn't used the phrase clown prince? If he just said a whip smart showman, which is what he wrote.
That's fine. You know.
And he wanted to write because you made news with him, right? And he's a columnist, by the way.
No, that's all good. And then later, look, okay, I got a Neanderthal look at tax policy. I'd let it go. I let it go for 24. I'm like, big fucking deal. No.
So it was the name. So it was the names that drove you to wrote that.
No, it's the fact that you're talking right to me, Brian. That's what you did.
Right, that's what I'm asking.
So I'm going to talk right back to you.
I really couldn't give a shit about Brian Dickerson, to be honest with you. I mean,
well, let me go like this. See, here's the.
I'm not going to say that. He's a colleague of mine.
Well, that's fine, but I'm just saying the issue
I
isn't
was
whether
a colleague. Who does that shit?
No, the issue isn't whether he and Dickerson are in a beef.
Well,
they can work that out.
But I'm not going to say I don't give a shit about you either.
Well, I got
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
got a beef with
Elric
journalists.
doesn't care about anybody, but I'm different.
Here's what I care about: is that the facts get out there.
Well,
if it's no bullshit, we can't have any bullshit.
Many
and that's
facts
the thing.
got out.
I felt some of that was bullshit.
You
weren't
aware of it till later. You did have them.
All I know is that I played tag.
We had the text messages before we had any of this other shit. This other shit came down later.
Just let me
so
give you a
you're
little
basically
history.
saying, why didn't we stop Hitler at such and such? Because later on he would have the
people
buzz bomb.
ask that.
Right. But I'm saying
God
you could
they
have asked
do.
me, and we could have saved everybody all this trouble. We could just talk about new wave music, which people really love.
I love it.
There you go. We found something we agree on.
Here's another
Does
thing.
this count as our great debate?
Here's another thing
No, we
agree
do.
on.
Come
we do.
on now.
And
Come on
fearless journalists who aren't afraid to call out journalists who are full of crap, we both hold that in very high regard.
And Sean, you want to ask something, but I want to make this point. I'm glad you followed your heart and are doing with your life what you're doing. But you will remember when I'm talking about the hockey arena years ago, my shit's getting not fucked with, pulled off the air. Making non-apologies. You'll know when I'm talking about Quicken Loan and the mortgage and that whole thing I was working on, they make a call and I'm got corporate on my ass. That story's dead before you do it. You know how many times, how many punches I've taken, how many guns I've had pointed at me. You know my heart's in the right place.
Absolutely.
I did not do that to say, I'm a backhanded fuck Elric.
It's not about me. It's not about me.
I know.
It's about the work.
It's not about us.
The Free Press saved
So
Detroit.
do some work. Yeah, okay, but you know what? Today,
Yeah, but we got to save it every day.
This is
I
part of my
understand
trip.
that.
This is 2007.
But the fact
what
you
are
don't
we doing
like
in
him-
2020?
The fact
We're
you
still
don't like
doing
him.
good work.
Wait.
We just don't have as many people doing
No,
it. And
well,
that's what
that
I'm
was my
saying.
issue with it.
And the
You
news
made
is
it sound
doing
like,
great work, too.
You made it sound like everybody down there was handcuffed and was told by the executive editor that they couldn't rock the boat, I think was your phrase, which was a nice cliche, by the way.
I'm sitting next to the guy here.
If you see in the notes,
Hold on, Sean. I'm sitting next to the guy that says so.
if you see in the notes, it says Charlie has a small crank. I didn't write that.
I am a crank.
I did not write that.
Okay, but I also said
I'm
this.
just saying, look, all I know is I
It
played
has a
touch
small
football
crank.
with this guy one time, and he tackled. Everybody else played touch, and he
That's
tackled.
right. Charlie's life is full contact. That's my thing. So why do you reach out?
So-
because my concern about this is
There
you're not
are
happy
at
with.
least 24 terrific reporters in town. I
But
know
that wasn't at the
many
Free
of
Press. Yeah, like for the way that was written.
bunches.
The way that was written could have meant everywhere but the Free Press.
No, here, watch this. Okay, hold on, ready? Because I didn't prep for this, but let me. I know who. Look,
Where's it? Look at your rock the boat phrase. By the way, you never would have used that phrase when you wrote for the news, the New York Times.
I said
What's going on with you,
I
man?
said the City Hall reporter at the Free Press is terrific and overworked. I also said there is no reporter at the Free Press assigned to the police department. This is crazy.
It's done by committee. That's true.
That's crazy.
It is.
And it affects the good people there that I know. And again, Catrice Stafford, and there's I don't
She's
want to
terrific.
I don't want to name names of the free press. There's a ton of them. Your wife being one. She's fucking fantastic.
And
She
a
could be
good
at the
kisser.
Wall
I
Street.
wanted you to write
wouldn't
that.
know, bro.
She's fucking
not what
fantastic
she
in
told me.
print here.
I did. It's in print.
Well,
I'm kidding.
Oh no, but look, there's a bunch of us, me and Mike included, that talk to each other, that buck each other
But
up.
my thing is,
this time.
Okay, I can
Make
say
your
that.
point,
It's
but-
my right, and it's accurate.
Well,
and you've answered half of it.
But you would have been more powerful if you just addressed what Dickerson wrote instead of going, Big Tent and swiping at the Free Press and trying to pull your buddy in here and Jim Schaefer about the. I mean, you were going all over the place with that. Go after Dickerson if you want to do.
You know
that.
what's nice is now we can have the talk about it. So look, I'm a columnist too. Huh? But I didn't call anybody a dick or a clown or a Neanderthal.
No, but he's a columnist, and it makes perfect
So
sense
I'm a
for him to
columnist.
write about it.
I'm a
Carmanos
columnist
makes
too.
news, and you try to make it sound.
It's okay, but I can't.
No, you had a good argument
Mine's
against
more-
him.
mine's
but
a better
not
question.
The 5 days. That doesn't make any sense.
Mine's a better question.
So
Right?
here's the thing.
We're doing a whole show on it. Mine's such a good question.
You can have a beef with the Free Press in 2020, fair enough.
That's
but
true.
it should not take anything away from the work that was done in 20.
Oh, hell no.
Or a lot of the good work it's done now.
And
Come
journalism
on, man.
requires calling people and getting
we
stuff
need
done.
more.
We got that straight. So I'm going to accept the apology, whether it's withdrawn or not. But
It's not withdrawn.
No, we do need more.
good.
We do
So-
need more.
So what else is going on, Chuck?
We need more.
And
you know why?
what we need more of? You golfing through Detroit.
Well, so let me tell you how you can get more of this journalism. First
what we
of
need
all,
more. Seriously.
you can subscribe to the Free Press. You can subscribe to the news. Christine McDonald doing some tremendous work. You guys were
Dynamite.
talking about the
Dynamite.
you know what? When next time you see Karen Dumas, so I want to ask her how she feels about the assessments because she was in City Hall when those reassessments weren't done. I'd be curious to hear what the Bing administration's take on that was because
Should be out of town this week, but
yeah,
perfect.
It's a good question.
Dude,
It's a good question.
You know what we do? Let me
And also become a member of Deadline Detroit. $3 a month. You can support the work at Deadline Detroit. You can support the work Charlie does.
I love it. They're sassy there.
I love 99% of Charlie's work. There's 1% here.
I can take it, man. You know, it's when Sean.
That's
Mike,
why I called you, 'cause I knew
You're
you
going to say lowly sports writer.
No, dude, you're the one keeping the fucking place alive. You're the shit I do read every day on the toilet.
By the way, didn't our old friend McGraw have it on the toilet? Well, that's nice.
Well, that's where everybody does it.
So, okay, here's the other way you can support this kind
Are
of
you
content.
standing, by the way?
Am I? I got a shit.
No, but when you shit, do you stand?
In France?
Fucking
Yeah,
nice.
they got a hole in the floor. That's called a continental
or do you
loo.
kneel, or do you
That's
kneel
how you
but
get-
not sit?
Well, you
In
know, I
India,
blew my
too, I
knee
think.
out playing basketball, so I don't know what I'm going to do when I get to Europe again.
so that's bone on bone, baby.
The Elvis swipe.
There's no cartilage down there anymore.
They got the bidets. You're just going to have to get a room. You're just going to have to
I love
use
a
the
bidet. I do. I love a bidet. It's so much better than toilet paper.
You know what Sean calls those? Drinking fountain. You got to be careful. Be careful. You know what? A lot.
Teresa
I'm
taught me
sure,
that.
I'm sure. Oh, we're going to edit that out too, baby. I'm sure plenty of you have heard about my friends at Zott Ford in Holly. They're pleased to be dragged into this. They sell tanks, so maybe you want to pick one up there. Not only are they known for having the hottest sales staff in Oakland County, or so they claim. Go see for yourself. But they're also known for sponsoring one of the other big podcasts on the Red Shovel Network, a little thing called The Drew and Mike Show. Well, as you know, one of the best ways to support our Soul of Detroit podcast is to support our sponsors like Zott Ford and DealsInTheD.com. In return, my boy Steve Gabar and his team will make sure your next purchase or lease of a new or pre-owned vehicle is fun, fast, simple, and easy, all while saving you fat stacks of cash. So if it's time to dump your current hoopty and pick up a fresh fly ride, go surf Zott Ford's sensational deals and massive inventory at DealsInTheD.com. And be sure and tell them ML Soul of Detroit sent you. And I'm going to do a read for Hall 2.
You know what about Zott Ford? I say this, man. Next car I get is going to be a Ford. That's right, a car I can afford. And you're going to get that deal at Zott.
What was Run DMC
That's for free.
said? I drive a car I can fix and afford. My name's Daryl Stevens, but my middle name's Ward. Anyway, so, okay.
And they can't fly either.
So we're going to bump the sponsors together because I feel bad we're getting them to them so late because that's another way you can support this show. But I suspect that nobody's dialed off yet. I think people are still on the edge of their seats.
That was
I know.
riveting. It was cool. And it's Hall. I know. I love Dave. Thanks for supporting our show, too. That's riveting. That's important. And I think it's good. That's why, I'm going to come.
Yeah.
One, I don't fear you. Like, you ask
What?
questions,
No.
you answer the question.
I do fear him.
Yeah,
It's
that's
good
true.
for the public to know, to see us, because it's all a stupid show now.
Well, so here's
not
the-
all. I'm sorry, Sean. You're right. I'm overdoing it.
No. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying I just think it's nice that 5 white guys are all sitting down here in a show called
This is the genuine passion that people recognize. Now, here's something that we're doing in the corrupt fake news media that maybe the people that we report on could take a cue from. We're facing each other. We're answering all the questions. And if we don't know the answer, we say we don't know the answer. So this is something that the rest of our friends can learn from, which is you got something to say it.
It's what the people want and expect out of the press. I don't even like to be the media. I'm the press.
And I should be clear, It does not say Charlie has a small crank.
I just want you to start wearing a vest again.
I do.
I hope.
I was busy. I just threw this on.
Okay.
It's crazy shit going on.
Because I wear a hoodie because I hate myself, but you like yourself, so you need to wear a vest.
You know what everybody needs to wear is one of these sweet-ass hockey jerseys. You can get those at the DrewandMikeStore.com. All size and colors are now in stock. It's made out of virgin wool.
Is it poly?
From virgins that were cloned because, virgins can't make more virgins. That's why virgin wool doesn't make sense.
Let me think.
Unless they're young.
That's not what it means.
Yeah. Well, okay. See, we're kicking lots of knowledge.
Lanolin in?
Hey, Brandon, I appreciate your work today. I just wanted to extend Happy New Year greetings to you from our friends at Hall Financial.
Thank you.
They have a couple of questions for you. Mm-hmm. Are you paying more than 4% on your mortgage?
No, but
you must be a customer.
I'm very, 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 very high.
Everybody else, do you have you're high with your mortgage or just
high threes?
Oh, I thought you maybe hit a little bone.
Have you called Hall?
No, and I should.
What does it hurt?
Do you have a lingering high interest rate credit card debt?
Yes.
Okay, well, we can't loan you any money. So you may or may not know that right now rates are within fractions of a percentage point of their lows of the last 10 years. It must be true because somebody typed it down. A smart idea would be to call a company with over 1,000 five-star reviews that has recently been averaging 10 days from start to finish on listeners that have applied for a refinance of their mortgage. And that's, Sean, help me out here. That's Hall Financial. It's a simple process, and it's no secret that saving money is smart. You can get started by calling 248-308-5000 or going to Hall Mortgage, DavidHallMortgage.com. A lot of homeowners need to reduce their rate, shorten their term, eliminate PMI, or take cash out. Now is the time. Even though the media isn't reporting it the way they were in August, damn media, rates are still historically low.
I've heard the press.
Oh, it's fake rates. Hall Financial is the place to call. Just don't take my word for it or my work for it.
Take Charlie's.
That's what they wrote. No, I'm a customer. Dan Morrison and Shannon, they got me a mortgage when I didn't really have much job prospects. They get testimonials and thank yous every week from listeners. That's what they tell us, so it's got to be true. Hall Financial has nearly 1,000 five-star reviews from their clients for a reason. If you want to check in and see if something makes sense for you, go to DavidHallMortgage.com to get started or call 248-308-5000 and make sure to tell them that the soul of Detroit sent you. If you want to tell them no BS News Hour sent you, that's cool too, but make sure you tell them we both sent you. Equal Housing Letter, NMLS 1467435.
Well done.
Whew, I'll tell you what, I'm glad for the reads because it gives us all a chance to calm down. I just want to make a quick appeal to folks to help us out at Clark Park. We're going to be talking about that more in an upcoming episode. Last night I was at Thomas McGee's in Eastern Market. We were doing a VIP whiskey tasting for people who contribute and volunteer at Clark Park. We have our Clark Park Winter Carnival coming up on February 15th. Mike Rattay will not be there, so I've had to put together 2 hockey teams, and we could use your help. If you want to donate to support the children of Southwest Detroit, you can go to patronicity.com, search for Clark Park 2020, make a donation. It's fast, it's easy, and all the money goes to a really, really good cause. And I need to, so now I'm pissed at Charlie, and we're beefing, and now I got to kiss his ass a little bit, because the reason I got involved with Clark Park, I'm still mad at you, brother. But the reason we got to get involved, you should have called me, son of a... Anyway, so keeping moms out of this. The reason I got involved in Clark Park is because I love it, and I've been looking for a way to help them. And I was at Charlie's Chili Cook-Off for the firefighters, and he's raising a lot of money, having a good time. And I went back to Fox, and I said, hey, can I have an event like Charlie's? And they said, well, here's how this works. We don't do events. But if you're involved in something that's good, we'll help get the word out. And so I went to Clark Park. I said, what are you guys doing? They said, Winter Carnival. I said, well, can we do an outdoor hockey game? They said, sure. I said, you guys don't mind being associated with me? They said, no, we'll make an exception. Normally, we only deal with high-quality individuals. And so we put together this hockey game. It's almost 6 years ago. This year, we will have raised, in total, over $100,000. The station, Fox 2, God bless them, got really behind this, raised money, raised awareness of the great things going on at Clark Park through the Clark Park Coalition. And the way I did this, I was looking for a way Charlie LaDuff showed me the way. So I got to give you all respect and honor for that. So thank you, man. And you're still doing good stuff.
Well, you remind me.
Again, 99% of it's really good. 1% of it just complete.
Yeah, look, dude. I'm not even like within 25 points of that. You know, I mean, I'm a fucked up guy. I admit it, but I want to say, just thinking back. Oh no, I love Fox too. I love my time there.
Great opportunity.
It was.
We did good stories.
It was just awesome. And I didn't leave out of anger or anything. I was sad and I was tired because by the time all that was done, I had walked into riots.
Getting gassed,
getting the itches from the Rio Grande. It was.
And the Rouge,
Baltimore,
and the Rouge River. Remember that?
Yes, it was just at some. Reporters get post-traumatic stress. Like I covered Ground Zero for the year. I went to Iraq. I crossed the desert with the Sinaloa cartel. I seen so much pain and so much ripping off and such unnecessary poverty that I didn't go, so what? You take my thing off TV. That's business. That's the way that goes. I accept it. I just was tired. I needed to get out because I was getting just dead.
Well, plus you and I don't stay anywhere very long. I mean, we try new things. We're looking for new challenges.
Absolutely. I love
Kevin Roseborough, the news
and
director, great guy.
I love newspapers. It's the best job in the world. And anybody that can hold on to one and do it really well, I love you. I really do. I do it for a whole lot less money, and it's a whole lot less interesting because it's, Detroit metro area. Who gives a shit? I could be in Iowa making a clown of these guys, but fuck it. That's why I did.
Let's leave clown out. That's how this got started.
You
could
feel
be
like
whip
you found
smart
your
in
groove
Iowa.
at Fox too?
I loved it.
Because some of the pieces you did, right, really resonated.
I appreciate it. You know how I approached it? I watched TV. I remember, if I could tell a story.
Please.
Bjork's husband was making a art film here down at the old steel plant in River Rouge, right?
Okay.
Something based off of a Greek tragedy. And we're at Roma Cafe. And we're sitting there, blah, 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 blah. I'm helping him out, going to introduce him, please, this and that. And I go, hey, I'm going to take a job doing that. Because Fox 2's like, come on. And they go, why would you do that? And I said, because that's mass media. We all look at it, and to be able to take that thing and play with it, right? The only way I did TV was I know what I would watch. That's it. And I learned. And I learned that, it was great when we were doing it, and I'm not done doing it. I don't want to leave Detroit. I got job offers, but...
Why don't you want to leave Detroit, by the way?
I got a daughter, and she was born in L.A., and I was a stay-at-home dad for the first year when I left the Times. And I realized we're alone here. Like, this isn't our culture. My mother's here. You're here. He's here. My brothers are here. I'm from here. I love it. It's fucked up. So I hate that. But I love it, and I want my daughter to be one of us. Because that's the best thing I know. And I've been across the world. This is the best place I know.
And it makes a difference when you're changing lives and making things better for the people you love and care about.
It feels good. And then when it doesn't happen, I was just flipping out this morning. I won't go into what I'm working on, but help us. Help us. I'm tired of the theater of it all. This just in from Iowa and Pete Buttigieg is up. It's like, help us. The State of the Union. The rebuttal. Help us. Here comes the report on the state of the jails, right, in the state. And yet nobody knows that the feds have just popped into Wayne County, right, because so many people are killing themselves in there, or that it's never had a health inspection.
I guess they know now.
Yeah, and so...
Breaking news. Where's the sound?
No, I wrote them all.
Okay.
I wrote them all.
Okay.
But where is all that stuff? You blue panel commissioners, did you bother to walk in that hellhole? Those are citizens, presumed to be innocent, please. I don't know. I'll stop.
So, hey, if you want more of this, all the Red Shovel Network shows are great. No BS News Hour. Check it out. Read 99% of what Charlie writes in Deadline Detroit. There's 1%.
I think Charlie does his best work here, though, with us.
Hey, man, we don't have enough microphones.
Are you liking it?
Yeah.
What's that?
doing this?
Yeah. No, it's fun to interview you.
So,
so to speak.
For me, I'm a reporter who has a podcast. I'm not a podcaster who does reporting.
Yes.
So I gotta get another gig soon, and I've been offered several that I've turned down, and there's a couple that I'm trying to get lined up that involve, one's investigative reporting for radio, the other one, we'll see what happens with local newspapers. But this is great, but I would rather talk to people about what they're doing on the side.
Other than me.
I want to do it, and I prefer to be a guest than to be a host, to tell you the truth. Because if people are calling me to ask me about stuff, that means I've done something. And to me, that's what this is all about. This is about
and like
trying to make a difference. It's not about trying to make money, because believe me, none of us are making money. I mean, we're cobbling together a living down here. That's basically.
Well, look, this new way. It's you can't stop it. If you see what's it called, Quibi, Katzenberg, right?
I can't keep up with this stuff.
What they're doing is this.
I stopped at free.
They're starting
porn.
a
That was
network
enough for me.
over the phone. Oh. And it's going to be movies.
Oh, is
and
that
television shows
Meg
and journalism.
Whitman from
from IBM?
Yeah.
And so everything's going to be no longer than
eBay,
7 minutes.
Yeah.
So the point is, see this phone? Are we still on Facebook Live?
Yeah.
You can't stop it. Everything is going to come here. I didn't think it was possible a bunch of years ago. Like, that's just, it sucks.
It's too small. I got a 50-inch TV. I got a 2-inch TV.
But my kid never looks at TV. Ever. It's here. So everything is going to be what we were already doing. You got to shorten up your copy. So everything's coming around, dude. So it's good to get out first.
Yeah.
You do some podcasts. You do some investigative stuff. You do make a documentary, which I'm working on.
You do take a shit on the free press once in a while.
Fuck it. See what it did? It started a discussion. That's not a bad thing.
No,
that's what we're supposed to do.
So we're supposed to be right about stuff, and some of that wasn't right.
Well,
that's
so
right.
far. Wait a minute. Let me do this. I haven't heard anything need to be corrected. I asked you out there. Tell me.
Okay. Well, some of the questions we could have resolved before.
Okay, you didn't like the tone of it, and like the fact I didn't call you. And again,
well, you put some stuff out that I think in your heart isn't true. But if you didn't know it,
I would not do that.
We've resolved it. We don't need to.
I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
You were hurt.
Hey, listen. This is
I'll
what
buy
I
you
tell
to drink tonight. Because they're on Luke.
Oh, that's right. Always an asterisk. But this is what I tell the people that I do stories on. And they always think it's personal. It's like, you know what? I tell everybody, we're always going to be cool. As long as we can talk, as long as you say what you got to say. We don't have to agree on stuff. But we do have to talk. And then we have to be respectful.
Yes.
And
that was 100% to me anyway. More interesting, us three talking, than Carmano's talking about he got, Kilpatrick's letter to Trump. That's what you did, what you guys did over there was historic. And you did. I stand by it. He's a crook, and you did this town a service. And I know what you went through. So let me just get that on the record to your face.
I appreciate that.
Absolutely. And when I got here in the midst of that, I didn't jump in. You notice that?
No, you went for the fire department because you knew those guys from 9/11.
I'll do the police. I'll do the fire. I'll do the ambulance. I'll do all the other stuff because there's pros working that. I don't need to do it.
Well, at the news, you had John Bebo and Darcy McConnell and other people doing really good work, too. I mean, they were good people everywhere.
I loved it there, too.
There was some good stuff Scott Lewis did at Fox, too. So there was plenty.
Steve Wilson was the man.
Steve Wilson did very good work. And he showed me the power of TV, as we spoke about on our last episode. Yes. If you missed it, check it out, The King of Confrontation, that we grew up.
I studied him.
No comment, we move on. Steve Wilson got a no comment where he got shoved against the wall, and that was a no comment that really gave people a look at the mayor in a way that just writing no comment in a computer and printing it never did. So,
you know what else I studied, just when you're asking about TV? I don't want to mimic him or anything, but Rob Wolchek. You know what I mean? Like, presentation, the way he writes.
That's because I'm the best. Yeah, I'm great.
But
you should have studied me. You should have studied me harder. You're not as good as I am.
I told Rob that if it were up to me and I was the news director, I'd put him on politics. Oh my God. He'd slay it.
Let me just say this. I'm glad you came down here and sat with us, Charlie, because when I read your piece for Deadline Detroit, I thought maybe you were a little wounded, a little hurt.
I probably was.
Yeah, and I could
Well,
see
you took
that in your
another run
copy.
at Dickerson. If he's that small, why is he worth crushing twice?
Because-
I think he got to you, man. He
Yeah,
got
well,
to you.
He did, and it's hard. I mean, I get
No,
blasted
it's-
myself writing columns all the time, and most
Yeah,
of the
but
time
they're
you
right
can
about
brush it-
you.
Well, they are. Most of the time you can brush it off, but sometimes you're like,
Okay,
oh,
I'll be honest. Okay, like
that stings.
I hear what you're saying. Like, goddamn, LaDuff's got some thin skin, right? But
We
no,
all do.
I think
to
it
some
was no,
degree.
no. I
because of
got
the
thick
smoking.
skin, but I really do think it was a culmination of shit. I'm going to tell you the treatment that me and my family got after caring about a homeless dead man frozen in ice. I called my mother and cried. I'll never forget Anthony Bourdain when I took him around and the vitriol I was given by the people in the business. I cried.
You mean for hanging out with Bourdain?
Yeah, and like you know,
And then you took Schmidt out for a mocha. Remember that?
yeah, and then I did.
That was
Because
great.
Schmidt was writing the hit shit.
Well, that's what he was getting from his police sources, you know.
Well, yeah, all of a sudden we're listening to the Detroit police back in that day, you know, in Kilpatrick. We answered that 911 call. And I said, me and Max Ortiz, the photographer, we stayed out there till dark. No, you didn't. And if you did, why is he still in the ground? Not in the ground, in the elevator shaft.
Yeah.
So I did cry to my mother.
Why
And you
were
know,
people? Why were people giving you a hard time for hanging out with Bourdain?
Well, because now that Tony's dead, and you could, because every time somebody comes in and points out Detroit to itself, they get attacked.
Well, my only problem with the Bourdain stuff, and you guys had great chemistry, is that
He's an old friend.
I didn't see too much of the good parts of Detroit.
Right.
And I will
There's
say
that.
when I listen
Little ruin
when I
porn?
listen to
Is
your
that-
show,
Is that the thing?
I think you miss some of the good things that are happening in the city. And I don't mean the downtown stuff. I mean there are parks in the neighborhoods,
Well, watch
and the
this.
neighborhoods are
Here's the
getting
thing.
better.
It wasn't my show; it was his show.
No, I mean on
dig.
no BS.
What-
But we do, as reporters, we tend to focus on the things we think need to get fixed, as opposed to the things that are
here's
getting better.
Here's the deal: if you ever step out here, move away from here for a while, the name of that show is Parts Unknown.
Right.
And
Well, I
there
think it's
is-
unknown that there are nice neighborhoods in Detroit to the rest of the world, to tell you the truth.
There is no other city, right, in this continent where 90% of it is unknown. So, as Tony said, when they put out a statement condemning him, he goes, I'm not the Chamber of Commerce, right? We showed people in this city what was wrong with Rochelle cooking beautiful greens.
Greedy Greg's.
Yes. Oh, you didn't show the good parts. That's a beautiful
Did
part.
you go to a pop-up restaurant?
Hipster pop-up restaurant, the Papusas, right?
I wouldn't have put the gin in the soup, though. That was a little weird.
Well, dude, it was a lame bit. I'm like, Tony, let me help you with a lame bit here, right? Let me help you. But
I mean, food's not your thing, though.
again,
I eat. But yeah.
He showed the
peanut
Packer
butter
plant.
toast. I'm good.
you showed a Packer plant. You do what you want with that, Tony. It's not mine. But again, 90% of this town is unknown. He had dinner with the firefighters. What was not awesome about that?
Right.
I stand by that 1,000%, but I'm going to be called the hater. I don't like it. I love it.
So I'm passing a note to Brandon. I'm wondering if we can skip the great debate this week because we're running long, and we just kind of had a great debate, so it seems a little bit redundant.
That was actually fun, man. Thanks for having me.
Hey, man, you know what the thing
cool.
is? This is what. So Rats and I do the hockey game. It all came out of a big fight, but the thing is, people who care about stuff, they get hot.
Right on.
You know, that's the beautiful thing.
And you call them rats. You know, you have an
I don't
honorific.
call him Rats. I call him Sir because
Nickname.
he'll elbow me in the face, which is tough because I'm tall. But,
Sorry about tackling you, Sean.
yeah.
Oh, it's okay. No.
hey.
I like your enthusiasm.
I think Devin Skillian maybe
I think
still
you were
has some
probably
bruises
playing
from
in
some
a-
of those Channel 2,
I
Channel
think he
4
was wearing a
basketball
suit.
games.
I think he was wearing a suit when he was playing. Either that or a T-shirt. One of those tuxedo T-shirts.
Never
Did
had
you
a
have one of
tuxedo
those?
T-shirt.
No, I know what it was. It was a black. It
was a
Some people
maroon,
call it a spouse beater.
Burgundy kind of a
I thought he had a Naugahyde jacket with a faux fur collar.
spikes coming out
Or was
of his
that
shoulders.
Shaft? That might have been Shaft. No, now you're thinking of Kiss.
I just liked your
Not a new
enthusiasm.
wave band.
That's what I remember.
Not a new wave band. So,
All right, we done? Can I go smoke?
yeah, no, you're good, man. You're good.
Beautiful.
We're
All right,
always
so
good.
I'll see you tonight for the drink.
Yes.
Okay.
Just one? I don't
Thanks for
think
having
so.
me on.
We have two.
You coming tonight?
No.
Okay.
Sorry, got to work.
Why? It's dying.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Damn, where's my condom?
I do love your work. I read the sports pages.
Well, thank you.
Oh, this dude.
Human
He
accomplishment.
was supposed to cover Michigan basketball yesterday. He ended up in East Lansing covering Michigan State new coach thing, and then
Oh,
Michigan
can I say
State
this?
basketball.
Is this a decent Look.
Yeah, let's talk about D'Antonio. That was going to be our great debate.
I want to talk about Harvard.
Damn, I thought we were going to kill a great
Harbaugh.
debate and go right to Geek of the
I'm
Week.
satisfied with Harbaugh as a Michigan man with a letter in cheerleading.
So you're a Michigan man?
I'm a Michigan man.
I thought you were a man of the people.
Yeah, we got the best public university on planet fucking Earth, and I went
Just
to it.
ask 'em.
And I want to thank everybody out there that's a little bit older that paid the taxes to get me educated because I'm home to do the counting that they asked me to do. I'm satisfied with Harbaugh because there's no sex shit going on in the dorm rooms, no cocaine, no firearms, no lawsuits. I'll take 9 and 3
Just a little
because it's
heroin.
always been that way. It's always been that way.
It has.
Always.
9 wins isn't bad. It's better than Sparty's.
Shit, man, we always got a shot. We almost beat Ohio State a couple times. Fuck it. Everybody relax. It's just football. It's young guys in tight pants. Stop it.
I prefer Rich Rod, but that's just me.
Yeah, see that we got some violations, and Michigan State's.
No, as a Spartan, I prefer Rich Rod. We beat the shit out of that hillbilly.
I'll never forget, man.
Let's get that Geek of the Week queued up, Brandon, if we could, please.
Michigan State came in. The Sparty came in, and I love State. It's got the name Michigan in it. I'm for it. Sparty comes into the big house, and Michigan ends the game with negative rushing yards. What we like to think of ourselves as Michigan people is the baddest, smartest, handsomest dudes. It's not true, but that's what we like to think we are. So when Sparty comes in and kicks your ass in the negative yards, ooh, you really just found out what you really are.
Hey, the next time you come, will you wear khakis in honor of the man you clearly love?
Well, I'm starting to get that prostate thing, so I just tend to wear dark pants.
Not only am I wearing khakis, but
after
if
I've
you look
seen
at
Drew in the
label on
pictures. You notice how Drew's got dribble in all of his pants?
Those aren't quite khakis. Those are like cargo pants, man.
Well, that was your listeners are doing that.
Those aren't khakis. That's like saying you live in Detroit. Those are cargo pants.
I get the same problem, dude. I ain't gonna lie.
Okay, looks like we're just gonna do the Drew and Mike show right now too. So,
all right.
Oh man, the geeks have inherited the earth.
Did I do that?
What a dork!
Does him wanting to play with us again mean that he's turning into a geek, or we're turning into cool guys?
I thought that guy would never leave. I love how he ended. He was sorry, and Michigan guys are ugly. So we got all the important points covered. So our Geek of the Week.
Can we just skip to room, whatever it is?
No, we're going to do Geek of the Week really fast. Geek of the Week. The people who make those commercials during the Super Bowl that they spend so much time on and so
they
much
suck.
money
Let's move on.
And so much thought on. I just want to throw in honor of Mark. This is a topic he wants to talk about. I thought the Oil of Olay commercial, that's the only one I saw. I guess now they just call it Olay.
Olay.
Yeah, like it's bullfighters or something. I wasn't sure after watching that whether their point was women can be astronauts too and are really smart, or one of these women is smart and the other two women are the kind of goofballs you expect women to be in space. What the hell was going on with that?
The actual commercial is make space for women, and you saw the women and they were shooting off into space, into the shuttles and all this good stuff.
All very impressive, and women do that.
It's telling you that these women, they can do it too. They can be astronauts. It's very empowering. But then it ends with slapping a button and they jettison themselves out into space. So it kind of, at the very end of the commercial, contradicts itself.
Yeah, they undercut the message.
Yes.
And they spent millions of dollars on this. Did anybody think of how this would play? Did anybody show this to anybody? Did anybody call anybody before they published this and then get straightened out later on a podcast? I don't know. I don't want to try and bleed in the other segment.
I like the mansplaining you're doing right now, though. That's
Which
nice.
one?
The mansplaining you're doing right now.
Are you saying that
you're saying it's okay for, I don't know, whatever it is. You're trying to rule women. All I know is that Charlie DeDuff just walked out and kissed me on the neck, and it felt like his tongue was kind of, doing its thing. It was like a French.
If you have a nicotine stain, we'll know that he really.
It was a French kiss on my mole right here, if you know what I mean.
Oh, wow. And on that note, we're going to get the hell out of Geek of the Week because it's getting a little creepy in here. And we're going to go into room 7609, but it's a very platonic room 7609. We're not looking for, long-term relationship, not even to holler at each other, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Well,
There's an all-night party in room 7609.
See what you're missing, Mark? Not only do you miss all the excitement, but We're taking things in a little different direction this week in Room 7609. I think everybody knows Echo and the Bunnymen, so it's not really like we're introducing you to a new band, and so much of their stuff is so good, it's not like we're digging up a hit that was overlooked. But what we're going to show you is something from a little outfit called Go Home. It's Echo and the Bunnymen in a way that you maybe have never heard them before.
Under blue moon I saw you, so soon you'll take me up in your arms, too late to beg you or cancel it, though I know it must be the killing time, unwillingly mine. Fate up against your will, through the thick and thin, he will wait until you give yourself to him. In starlit nights I saw you, so cruelly you kissed me. Your lips a magic world, your sky all hung with jewels. The killing moon will come too soon. Fate up against your will, through the thick and thin, he will wait until you give yourself to him. Leave it alone. Under blue moon I saw you, so soon you'll take me up in your arms, too late to beg you or cancel it, though I know it must be the killing time, unwillingly mine. Fate up against your will, through the thick and thin, wait until you give yourself to leave it alone. La 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 la.
Sean, that's Echo and the Bunnymen and who?
The White Stripes.
White Stripes. Isn't that an awesome mashup?
Yeah.
And what tune is it that they've somehow
Seven Nation
seamlessly
Army.
filtered in there? Seven Nation. Yes. So this is
the anthem of football stadiums and basketball arenas.
And it's a great
around
tune,
the country.
but you almost get tired of it. But when you see it refreshed like this, I mean, it just brings home what a great song both of them are. So that's Killing Moon by Echo and the Bunnymen, mashed up with Seven Nation Army by the White Stripes, Detroit's own White Stripes. And if you really like White Stripes music and everything Jack White does, check out Third Man Records in Midtown. It's a really, really cool place, and they do cool things for the city as well. But Go Home is the one who created that mashup. They also have a killer mashup of Imagine by John Lennon with Band on the Run, The Specials, a great ska new wave band with Tramp, a great disco band, Carl Douglas, everybody's kung fu fighting with Arcade Fire. Whoever thought
45.
those two would come together? The Commodores and Burt Bacharach, believe it or not. And there's another great mashup out there of Echo and the Bunnymen with ABBA doing Voulez-Vous. So even when you think you've had, I know Echo, I couldn't listen to any more Echo and the Bunnymen, I could never do. There's always a new way to appreciate new wave music. And we love hearing from you. We love getting your suggestions. I had a lot of suggestions that people sent to us at mlsoulofdetroit@gmail.com. And as I was looking up these bands, I'm like, I don't know if that's quite new wave. It's not quite Britpop, but it's part of a genre called shoegazing. I'm talking about Lush. I'm talking about Blur. I have never heard of shoegazing. It's like a half of a heartbeat that came between new wave and Britpop. But we appreciate those suggestions. We'll check them out. We'll try and play them. We also want your phone calls. Give us a call. We need to get some cool voicemails to play on here. I've got Mr. Bonerline himself, Brandon, working the Wheels of Steel over there. I would love to have some of our own voicemails to play. And you can call us at 313-288-9070. That's, if you're really cool, 313-Butterfield-89070. Brandon, how much would you like to hear those sorts of calls on this show?
Absolutely. I think that any type of listener feedback, especially when you can play it to the other listeners, it's fantastic. You can also text that line, too. Don't forget. So if you want to send ML a message that you maybe don't want your voice on the air, go ahead and send a message to 313-288-9070.
And then Siri will read it.
Yes, do not let Brandon and Siri down. We really want to thank our special guest. We want to thank him for most of his work. Some of his work kind of sucked, but for the most part, Charlie Duff, thanks for coming on, the host of the No BS News Hour. You can check that out. No BS on the News Hour, maybe a little BS on Deadline Detroit, but we're working that out. No Filter Sports, check that out. And of course, the Drew and Mike Show, who is evicting us right now so they can do their show. We appreciate if you would subscribe, rate, share our show, and support us. We are at mlsoulofdetroit.com. You can see old episodes, and you can donate because you can be a sponsor. And if you patronize one of our sponsors, Zott, Ford, and Holly, or David Hall Financial, let them know that ML sent you. And we're running along, so I'm going to just end with a quick call to my friend Cyrus. Cyrus, will you please get us the hell out of here?
Can you dig that? Can you dig it?